This Heathen Land is the third full-length album from Greenlung, a London area heavy rock band who began as sort of a stoner doom metal band and have evolved into their own sort of occult-themed heavy rock, kind of almost throwback. And they've done their best to give it their own style as they've evolved very quickly. They've made the jump to Svart Records and now to Nuclear Blast, and that means there's a lot more going into this record. They're able to do a lot more with it, and they've sort of taken a step away from a lot of the somber and sort of darker side that I felt Black Harvest had brought back in 2021. If you'll recall, I rated that record quite highly. It did have this sort of medium between the sort of sentimental side of the Sword and maybe the eerie side of Uncle Acid, but there was more to it than that, and there was a bit of 70s Sabbath in there too, which I really like. So I guess we'll cut into what is very different about this record right away with a clip. So, of course, this is not an underground metal record anymore. This is an accessible heavy rock record. And the big thing is that the render here is quite professional in terms of not only Bearbites Horse Studio providing this really bright, almost glossy level of a showing here in terms of the recording and whatnot, but also the mix from the fellow who's done some more recent work with Ghost, which is pretty obvious when we get to songs like Maxine Witch Queen, which for me that takes me much further out of my comfort zone in terms of not so much not liking catchy, good, heavy music, but a point where it becomes less my thing overall, and less related to doom, less related to occult rock, and closer to campy stoner rock and sort of that glamorous sing-along feeling that Ghost certainly brings to whatever realm they're inhabiting now. It's not quite my thing. And the way I'd seen this band developing over time was closer to what Witch Hazel are doing now, or what Cathedral had been doing back in, I guess, the 2000s with records like The Guessing Game, where they were moving towards a progressive rock focused point that was very distinctly British in its undertaking. And I thought that's kind of where this record was going. And instead, there's this sort of occult roadmap theme here on this record that is less related to late 70s heavy metal and more related to just heavy rock. If you want a real criticism from me out of Greenlung at this point, it's not that their songs aren't memorable. You know, I can remember 3 songs off this record off the top of my head. The issue is that there isn't a weird soul here. This isn't that strange, it isn't that outlandish to me, and I don't feel like they put a spin on it so much as they pulled it off. They've done a very good job of making these memorable heavy rock songs really sing. There's this great doom metal song in the middle of this record, and there's a lot of great variety here that feels in touch with the 70s as one could in 2023. But there's a glossiness distance, or there's a gloss to it. There's a something that doesn't feel gritty anymore about it. It isn't weird enough and dark enough to catch my interest. It's just a very catchy, good album, and I can't deny that it is as catchy as it is. You know, I did repeatedly listen to this thing. I read all the lyrics. I really enjoyed the packaging to the record and the way they've made it look like an old Occult Road Atlas and all that. But that doesn't mean that I really connected with it in a deeper way that will pull me back to it as much as their previous record, Black Harvest. That's probably going to be the peak in their discography for me thus far, and this is sort of a maybe a more approachable medium for a lot of people that I still appreciate. Those are my thoughts. It's still a high recommendation. It's still a record you should check out if you like memorable, catchy, heavy rock music, and that's worth checking out now about a week after release, so it's available for you. Go ahead and read my review if you'd like, and there you go.
I have always